you to look at people who are renovating and flipping homes for a living and going and kind of justify, oh, they're doing that because of this. They started with more money, or their husband is a builder, or their husband's a handyman, or there's two of them working together and I'm on my own. It's very, very easy to quietly justify why others are doing what you want to do without breaking down exactly how they got there. So I thought I'd spend January and the next month really like breaking down into bite-sized chunks exactly what these people have done to make renovating and property investment their number one thing for the week. The first thing to do is to take action, even if you don't feel ready, like to make a start somewhere, to dip your toe in the water a little bit for a while, and then to jump in with both feet. The next thing to do, oh, hang on, let me have a look at my little list about what we've already covered. Oh, is to actually follow people who are doing it really well and kind of believe, you know, that helps you to believe and see that these ordinary, beautiful, motivated everyday people are doing really well. So you need to be hanging in the right circles where instead of putting you down, people make you feel like it's possible for you as well. That's really, really important that you hang out in the right communities. And the third thing is to understand that it's probably not going to be perfect right from the start, that you need to, or you will need to just, you know, have a go at it, learn how to hone your craft along the way. Because as we know, with anything, practice leads to confidence and ease. Practice leads to confidence and ease. So many people expect their first renovation to be so perfect. And, you know, it very well could be close to the mark. And it certainly would be more likely to be close to the mark if you know what you're doing, if you've got some education behind you when you start your first renovation and you're not guessing along the way. Excuse me. Practice does lead to confidence and ease. If you're a perfectionist, then you can let me know in the comments if this is you or not, but truly it's tough. Let it go. Like seriously, let it go. Perfectionism leads to paralysis, which leads to procrastination, which leads to not starting in the first place. In the end, it is about progress and not perfection. Excuse me. I'm just going to have a sip of water. Sorry, guys. It is about progress and not perfection. It is about just having a go. If you can revise your standards or the standards you set for yourself and just think, okay, I know I'm going to be dealing with a property. That property is given to me in its current state, like you're buying somebody else's old property or an old home. So you may not be able to get a result that is 100% perfect. The builders probably won't get to 100% perfect. You're going to do your best, but your new normal is around about 90% perfect. And if you can get used to that idea, then you'll make some steady progress. And if you focus on what other people will notice in your renovation and what's not what's going on in your own head about how you want it to look and what people are thinking about your product or the product of your renovation, which is, you know, the end take to market home that looks beautiful, if you kind of let go worrying about producing that result and keep your eye on the prize, which means renovating for profit. And it also means renovating on a lower spend and producing something that looks nice. And just focus on what people are going to notice when they come through your home for open for inspections, and not what's going on in your own head or the list that you're actually adding up for yourself of things that you need to do to make it so-called perfect in your mind. Because as a buyer walks through a property, they won't know if you've left off 3 things from that list. They won't know the things that you had in your head and your mind that you were going to do to that property. All they will see is what they see, is what you allow out to the public when you put that property on the market to sell. And be kind to yourself. Like, it's okay that the result not be perfect. Watch how you speak to yourself if things don't go as to plan or as well or as perfectly as you expected. Like, be really careful about the way you speak to yourself and the way you allow yourself to talk to yourself. It sounds really crazy, but we wouldn't allow other people to speak to us the way that sometimes we will speak to ourselves, or the things that we'll say to ourselves. So it's really important to understand that it's not good for your confidence or your progress. It doesn't serve you, or it doesn't serve your purpose to speak unkindly to yourself if the result wasn't as great as you expected. There's always learnings from a renovation. There always is. And just know, in your mind, you'll say to yourself, hey, that was pretty horrible. I will not do that again. I will not repeat that. And if you're like that, then you're going to get a great result anyway. So reframe your thinking to accept that it's okay to do something or produce a result, or to have a property come to market that is not perfect in your own eyes. That is okay. And be confident that whatever you do, however you do, that the next one is going to go easier, it's going to go faster, and it's going to go leaner on cash. That means that you're going to learn tricks of the trade to spend a little bit less. You're going to have relationships with tradies that's going to serve you in your next deal. So be kind to yourself, watch how you speak to yourself, understand that things aren't going to be perfect, and just, and just know that celebrating little wins along the way as well, like looking at what did go right for you and not just always focusing on what didn't go well. So focusing on what did happen really easily, what was, what flowed, what you were really pleased about, the tradies that you would hire again in a heartbeat because they were amazing, the relationships that you've built, your ability to go out and select a really good property now because you've learned along the way. Celebrate all of those wins, big or small. I did a really nice session this morning with our group, our inner circle group, and it was really all about just celebrating those wins and understanding how important they are to enable us to grow the confidence to keep on going. The foundations of learning. They come bit by bit. They come brick by brick. And in the renovation space, they come project by project. Also know that if you're making incremental steps forward, even if they're less than perfect incremental steps, even if the profit wasn't what you imagined, or even if you had to wait for a month for something to turn up on site and that pushed your timeline out, even if there was something that you uncovered that took up your contingency fund, and so again that affected your bottom line. But just understand that nothing that you do or you experience as you're putting your foundations of learning and you're honing your craft together, nothing is a waste of time. Nothing, not one property experience is a waste of time. You will take all of the positives with you and all of your learnings, and you'll throw them into your next project and your next project. When we look at very successful renovators and they'll put things on, pages saying, hey, I just earned $250,000 profit from this renovation, understand that they've been here. They've started at the beginning. They've grown their experience and their expertise bit by bit, brick by brick, and project by project. And successful people will just go back and look at what went well and what didn't go well, and they're just constantly trying to improve. And if that's your mindset, you'll be great. One of the, I always like to show a real project, like a student project. This is a perfect example of a renovation that looked fantastic, that Belinda Mangru is a student, that she did an amazing job with, and she made profit from this renovation, but her profit margin wasn't what she expected, and she was a little disappointed with her profit margin. But she learned from what occurred during this renovation. And what did occur during this renovation is that she was very swayed by a builder who had very strong opinions about what needed to be upgraded and changed and ripped out in this house. And as you grow and you grow in confidence, then dealing with tradies and being able to speak to tradies, and more importantly, having those tradies actually hear you, that changes and that improves. And so Belinda's learned a lot through this renovation, and she's done renovations since. She's on fire now. She's good to go. But let's celebrate the wins here. Let's look at what she did so beautifully well. This was her first, she'd done a few little odd jobs at home and bits and pieces, but this is her first major renovation. This house is at Orange. She did a really nice job only paying attention to what she needed to pay attention to. Like, for example, the exterior colour. I don't even know whether she gave it one coat of paint or not, but that was the very close to the exterior colour when she bought the property. So she left that because she needed to do other things. Other things were more of a priority in this property. Orange is a very cold place, as you know, so she spent time researching the colours and made sure that she put just warm grey beiges throughout. But there's a warmth to this property, which is really important when you're somewhere like Orange. So she paid attention. She did this styling herself. She was just fantastic. She just collected bits and pieces. She worked really, really hard in working out exactly what changes she needed to make to the property and what she could leave. For example, she didn't rip everything out. Adding these shelves here was just a genius idea. It just gives somewhere nice to style. It opens up the kitchen. It adds some beautiful flavour to that kitchen, and at the same time, it costs less to build. So just paying attention to what renovators do and honing skills and craft along the way is really important. So I think she did an amazing job. Look at the bathroom. This house has, it's in a large regional country town, as you know. So, you know, these tiles and this kind of traditional feeling bathroom, but with a modern flavour, is a perfect pitch, or a perfect level to pitch this renovation at. Like, just amazing. She did a great job. And I always laugh and joke with Belinda that this is the nicest loo that I've ever seen. This is a toilet, ladies. Ladies and gents, just really, really nice. So, I mean, look at what she did do well. If Belinda were to finish this renovation and say, I give up, I had this profit margin set for myself and I didn't quite get there, so that's it, I quit, then she wouldn't have done the next renovation, which has been successful, and the next renovation, which has been successful as well. Great job, Belinda. Seriously. Really proud of when my guys just get stuck in and do really nice work. And, you know, in the end, she may or may not work with that builder again. If she does work with that builder again, she will know to actually really push her own point of view. In the end, builders are working for us, not the other way around. They're working for us, and understand that their motive might not be focused on you and your result as much as it's focused on them continuing on the project and them wanting to rip, for example, all the asbestos out because it feels better for them when it may not be necessary in that particular property. It's something that you have to weigh up the cost of. So here's the result from the real estate agent who sold the property for her. Belinda Mangru was a delight to work with. Her renovation of 131 Clinton Street showed her capacity for creativity and an eye for detail. She created a colour palette that was warm and inviting, which showed a deep knowledge of current design trends and styles, and yet also ensured that the design choices Belinda made stood the test of time. Altogether, her vision for that home came together in a seamless fashion that resulted in purchasers competing over the property, achieving a record price for that time of sale. Like, how nice would it be to do a renovation and have your real estate agent write you a reference like that? It's very, very cool. Okay, guys. So yeah, fantastic result. And there are Belinda's details. She's available to do joint venture projects and to work with anybody if they so choose to do so. She's committed to renovating for life as a lifestyle. She works with me at a higher level in launching her own renovation business. So I just send the biggest congratulations to Belinda. I'm super proud of her progress. So guys, that's it. Hone your skills, hone your craft, be prepared to improve along the path of your renovation journey. Don't expect your first project, even with all of the T's crossed and the I's dotted, don't expect your first project to be a 100% perfect outcome. Just take your wins, take your learnings, know what you'd repeat, and what you wouldn't repeat. So guys, thanks for following along in the Mums and Dads Renovators and Decorators group. If you'd like to book a call to speak to me at any stage, this week's pretty flat out, and next week actually, but jump on that link there and you might find space in my calendar. I'm happy to chat to anybody who wants to take their life and renovating to a whole new level. Cheers guys, have a beautiful day.